Okay, YouTube. Todd here again, some guitar guy. First off, thanks for watching. So, today's video, I want to talk about, if you haven't figured out, rake and trail. Um, and the idea for this actually comes from working on content for another video comparing and contrasting my two bikes, which are the 96 Harley Sportster 883 and the '06 Suzuki Boulevard S40. And one of the differences, of course, are the rake and trail. And that these are definitions that I learned decades ago, probably reading in some motorcycle magazine. But just over the years, the information has become blurred. It's not something you really use every day. And then the misnomers then as now of what rake and trail are. And you hear terms like a raked out fork or raked out front end and kind of assume it has something to do with the fork. But that didn't sound right to me. So I actually had to look it up, spent about a second on Google, found this article with this graphic. And yeah, I mean, the picture basically explains it. Rake is not the angle of the fork to vertical, but it's the angle of the steering head to vertical, and actually vertical through the center of the front axle. So you really can't see in this picture the steering head very well, but that is the angle. And according to the article, and I assume this is true, that the Harley touring models have a rake of 26 degrees. So if we were to measure that, yeah, we should find a 26-degree angle. And trail is kind of a function of the rake, and the length of the fork is simply a line straight through and parallel through the steering head, extended to the ground, and then measured back to the vertical. And I believe in this case it was 6.2 inches. So really the rake, to me, at least in my brain, is the much more important measurement. And it's not something that's adjustable. I mean, short of really cutting that off and re-welding, I guess. Was searching for a word there. Another steering head, like, think of the custom choppers of the 60s and 70s. So it's not something you can turn a set screw or anything. So the industry standard of rake, why is it important? So that's what the angle is. Or what does it mean? Why do you need any rake? And to me, it's kind of like comparing to a four-wheeler. It's kind of the caster angle in a automobile alignment. But that is usually not adjustable either. But anyway, why is it important? Well, the industry standard is like 22 to 32 degrees. So you need some rake for straight line and especially higher speed stability. Well, if the industry standard is 22 to 32, why does Harley only use 26 on these touring bikes? Well, you got to figure too, this is, an 800-ish pound motorcycle. So it has a lot of inertia once it gets going. So it really doesn't need that much help in stability. And with a smaller rake angle, that also maintains her ability to do tight maneuvers. And if you've ever seen anyone skilled do these low speed maneuvers in a parking lot with or without cones, turning, doing a U-turn within one standard parking space and figure eights and full lock turns, yeah, they'll do it, and it's pretty impressive to see as well. So yeah, it maintains her lower speed maneuverability. That's why they didn't need to go with more rake. So compare this, and again, that's 26 degrees, to this, which is a stock photo of my generation Sportster. think this was 95, 6, and 7. Um, and again, well, the Sporty has a 30-degree rake angle. And I really can't see that 4 degrees. Sometimes I think I can, but I definitely can't say for sure. So this is a 30-degree rake angle on the Sporty. So why did Harley do that? Why does the Sportster have more rake than the touring bikes? Well, remember the Sporty's given up about 200 pounds to to her bigger sisters, and she's given up a good bit of wheelbase. At top of my head, I'm thinking this is 58 some odd inches. And she's a bit more narrow too. So, yeah, I think that's the why. Yet she still looks to me very upright, an aggressive, fairly aggressive stance. And that's kind of helped by the handlebars on this particular bike. So that allows her, with lighter weight, still to have really good straight line and higher speed stability, which the bike does, while still being able to make the tight, full lock, low speed maneuvers and very responsive to lower speed maneuvers. And she's very quick to steer, and will make the full lock turns and U-turns and figure eights. It's actually pretty fun doing that on this bike. So we'll compare this now 30-degree angle to the Boulevard, and this is a stock photo of an 06 Boulevard S40. And this is a 35-degree angle, kind of back and forth to 30 and 35. Now I can see that, and again, that's probably helped by the shape of the riser and the bars. But yeah, so why does this bike need 35 degrees of rake, more rake than the industry standard compared to the Sportster? Well, again, now the wheelbase on these bikes is about the same. But the Suzuki is a bit more narrow. It can be because it's a single, and she gives up another 100 pounds to the Sportster, which, by the way, the XL stands for experimental lightweight. So yeah, she's pretty light. She's getting down into even though it's 650 or 40 cubic inches displacement, she's really getting down into like the 250 class, or close to it as far as weight. So yeah, this bike has been called Japan's first chopper. Now, I don't know that Suzuki really intended to do that. Maybe they did. But that's what it's been called in the motorcycle press. I suspect that that's what was needed. Now, she is stable and straight line and at higher speeds, and she is also very quick to steer and will do the low speed maneuvers well. The real difference between the bikes, and where I see that 5 degrees making a difference, is you do start to feel that kind of fork flop, I'll call it. So when you start to go left or right at really low speeds, whether you're on the street or working on your low speed drills, you'll spend a noticeable effort counter steering to maintain whatever steering input you're trying to give. The forks are just, the bar is going to want to go hard over left or right, depending on which way you're going. But I think it was, maybe they were trying for that, and it does look good. The bike has really good lines, I think, overall. But I think it was also function. So kind of finish with, to illustrate, and what better bike than the Captain America bike. And I don't know what this angle is. It looks to be about 45 degrees. But yeah, this is like Rake on steroids. And I don't know that there probably have been choppers with even more rake than that. But it's a cool bike to look at. Even Peter Fonda said, I think he said it was a quote unquote bitch to ride. I'm sure it was. No front brake. Well, a bitch to turn. I think he said to ride too. It does have a telescoping fork front end, but no suspension on the rear, and would probably take about, yeah, he does a U-turn at one point in the movie, and you see him kind of struggling with it. It's a cool bike to look at. I think last time it sold was 1,000,003. So yeah, it won't be in my garage or driveway anytime soon, but kind of finishing back up with that. So that's Rake. It's the steering head angle to vertical, not the fork angle, the steering head. And then trail is just simply kind of almost arbitrary to me, because it really all depends on the rake. If you decrease or increase that, then the trail is gonna obviously respond to that. But that's all I have for now. Actually, both bikes are down. I'm waiting to get the tank back from the paint shop for the Harley, which hopefully will be maybe later this week. And then I'm pretty sure it's the starter solenoid has gone out on the S40. Have it ordered, and then it's finding the time to get it installed. So hopefully get them both back on the road soon. But please remember to do the YouTube thing. Definitely comment. I do love and respond to all you guys' comments. And until next time, two wheels down. Thanks, guys.